Oi, oi.
Oi, oi.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, mate.
It seems ages. It seems like ages, doesn't it?
Seems like it was only last year.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? What was that, 4 or 5 days ago? It's gone
Yeah,
quick.
something like that.
It's gone
It
quick.
has gone quick.
Season 4 already. We're on season 4 of the Killer Comic Show. How mental is that?
Season 4.
Absolutely amazing. How was your festive break, mate? Did you eat too much, drink too much, and just be jolly like Santa?
Pretty much did all of those and more. Do you know what? I always find at Christmas, like I get to a point where I'm like, right, work's over, I can chill out now. And then I look at the calendar, it's like, I'm going to here, I'm going to go and see so and so. I've got to go and do this. I've got to go and pick that up. I've got to go and get this. I've got to go eat this. And it's like, actually, don't really get a break. Even though I've got a week off work, I didn't really get a break. But it was really nice to see the family. Like you said, I ate far too much, drank far too much. Definitely indulged. What about yourself?
Pretty much the same, mate. Like literally broke up on the 23rd of December and ate too much, drunk too much, celebrated too much, spent too much. And now it's the start of the year and I'm skint.
Yeah. Pretty much, mate. It's exactly
But
how
I had it was good. It was good. Like it's all about the kids now. It's all about the kids now. So it's just all about making it good for them. And I think it was as good as it could be. Santa delivered and everything. So yeah, happy wife, happy life.
Did Sandra empty his sack in your
He
house?
did all over my dining room floor.
It's such a good job when he does that.
It was an absolute mess. He looked like he had a good time, so I'm glad he delivered. Well, so we might as well just start this year as we mean to go on. So we were talking about having a break and work finishing. Andy's not here because he's bloody busy at work. So hopefully he'll be joining us. I think work's really kicking off for him at the moment, so hopefully he'll be joining us next week. If not, he'll be doing all the socials and stuff. He'll be working behind the scenes anyway. So, but the chat is absolutely buzzing. We've got a familiar face from across the shore. It's the one and only Captain Comics. Ahoy there, mates and mermaids.
Ahoy there, matey.
Thank you very much. We've got the one and only Poptimist, aka Darren Izzard. Evening all. Massive shout out to you for watching us when you was away on holiday during your Christmas break off, fly away, whatever you were doing. I absolutely loved it. Got the one and only Chris Bell. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. Buddha. Love that. Straight to the point, just like this show. Wow. And we've got the one and only Ed Vic. Happy New Year, sir, and good evening to you too as well. We've got the most... the one that's in the chat every single week before everyone else is the one and only Stream Elements bot. And he's still running. He's been running more than bloody Forrest Gump.
Mate, he's literally this inspiration behind Beyonce's song "Running."
I wonder if his legs are ever going to get tired. Do you know what I mean? But we've got Martin Simcox in the house. Massive shout out to you, sir. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We've got the one and only attention-seeking geek. What up, killers? What up, Ben? If you ain't checked it out yet, head over and have a look at his Geeky gas bag. That's Geeky gas bag because it's a great show and it's interesting and it's done by none other than the attention-seeking geek. So why wouldn't you head over there and check that out? Who else have we got? We've got.
You wouldn't want to see geek and gas bags after you've had far too much to drink, would you? Like quickly.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this show, and we've got the one and only Copy 801. Evening, sir. Are you at work? Are you just taking a quick break and doing something more pointless than watching us? There we go. But yes, so here we go. And Poptimus has just said, with Andy not on the show, it will make it 45 minutes shorter. Well,
wow, you would say that, but I've just seen Charlie's package,
and it might make it 45 centimeters longer. Who knows? But so anyway, Tom, we ended on a high. I'm glad that Andy's not here because he ran away with the killer covers at the end. He's 752,000 votes from the stream bots, literally snuck in at the last minute, and he ran away again for the second year running. Ran away with the Killer Comics cover crown. So I'm glad he's not here to gloat about it and start the show on a positive. But
yeah, you won't get bullied by me, mate. Don't worry.
I felt yeah. Last show, I felt really up against the wall, and I'd never had a drink.
He didn't even buy you one.
Shameless, absolutely shameless. But have you got any killer pickups to start 2023 with a bang?
Do you know what I do? And I actually got some really cool shit, to be fair. So I'll start off with the bits I got from Andy for Christmas, which is very kind of Andy. So he sent me a couple of random Transformer comics. I don't know if he knew that I didn't have these issues or whether they were just coincidence that I actually don't have these issues. But I got Transformers Rise of the Decepticons, is it issue 21? The retail incentive cover, which is really nice. I got the Shattered Glass issue 5, the retail incentive cover, which is absolutely stunning. I really like the way that the glass is on that. I think
Shattered Glass, because you don't really have that much luck with Transformer reviews, do we?
No, so Shattered Glass is one we haven't read, and I'm not.
Shattered Glass is one of the best ones.
It is the best one, and I'm not even going to suggest it because I know you'll rip it apart. But the one that was really nice that I got from Andy was the Transformers run from a few years ago. They did some homage covers. So Andy got me issue 12, which is a homage to the first issue of X-Men.
Oh, nice.
Which is a pretty cool, and it's obviously a New York Comic Con exclusive, which I was really chuffed to receive. So very thanks to Andy for that. And then he must have seen this on Hobgoblin Hideaway because he tagged them in it when I thanked him for it. So he got this from Hobgoblin Hideaway for me, which is the Vikings Godhead issue 1 from Forbidden Planet.
Is that Ragnar Lothbrok's wife? What's her name?
Lagertha. Yeah,
Lagertha. That's the one. Yeah,
it is, mate. Yeah. So me and Charlotte decided because our dog's called Ragnar. If we ever get another one, we're going to get a girly and we're going to call her Lagertha, or we're going to get a cat and call it Floki, which is also after Ragnar's mate.
For those who don't watch Vikings, Floki is the most tweaker, drug-fueled character that I think is in any TV show.
He's got a really infectious giggle.
Yeah, really, and he's a great character as well. And the actor that plays him is sensational. So if you haven't followed Vikings, check out our last show where I think Tom, we went into it. We spoke about the comic, we spoke about the TV show and everything, and then check out the TV show because it is great viewing. Fantastic.
It is good viewing, and the first 2 seasons are historically correct. So it is worth it if you want to pick, scratch up on your Viking history, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so I also got my delivery from Galactic, which I haven't had for a few months. So it's quite nice to pick that up. So I got actually for free because he wasn't able to get my J. Scott Campbell version of this. So I got the Gabriella Dell'Otto version of the Batman and Spawn issue.
That's nice.
So he's like, I'm going to send you one because I know you want to read it, not just collect it. So he sent me that. Still haven't read it. I'm going to read it. I haven't read it, but I will. I got the Batman Beyond the White Knight. Is that issue 6? No, issue 7 of that one, which I've read and really enjoyed. We probably should have put it in our reviews this week, to be perfectly honest.
Well, someone chose the comics this week, so.
Wow, you know what? We'll talk about that. That's why Andy's not here, basically, I reckon. Andy literally read the books and thought, do you know what? I've got nothing nice to say about
tipped him over the edge.
Exactly. It happens sometimes. I have this effect on people, apparently. So then I did get some J. Scott Campbells from Galactic. So I've got the Dark Web, Mary Jane, and Black Cat, which is amazing.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys have seen circulating on the internet. He's doing a few different versions of this on his website that are stunning. But I'm a sucker for getting J. Scott Campbell, so I will probably get them. But
I was in Gosh Comics.
Second.
Yeah, go on, mate. Go
on. No, you say Gosh Comics.
I was in Gosh Comics a couple of weeks ago and I see that and I was like, I really want to pick it up, but I can't. It's the paper quality. I don't think it. I say it time and time again, and I sound like a broken record, but it just doesn't seem to justify J. Scott Campbell or any other artist's work. No. It's like dry. It's like they've drawn on tissue paper. It looks shocking.
It is, mate. Do you know what? Like, I've got quite a few of J. Scott Campbell stuff from his website, and they come in mailers, which is lovely because they then really pop, and you don't need to take them out of the box. This is one of the first. Well, this year, the first time I've not bought anything directly from his website because nothing's tickled my pickle, as it were. Yeah. But the ones I've been getting from Galactic, they're nice. They come in, he puts them in a package, lovely, bags and balls them. But Marvel's paper quality, like you said, it literally is like someone's printed this off the internet. That's what it feels like. It feels like this has just been printed on your bog standard HP printer in the corner of a room, which is a shame because it's obviously stunning artwork.
I've just hashtag tickle my pickle because I think that's great.
Tickle my pickle. I think that's what I'm going to say every week now. That's going to be my new go-to. Stay safe. tickle my pickle. I also got the Captain America symbol of liberty cover, which is the J. Scott Campbell one. It's very not very often you get to see J. Scott do geezers, so that was quite
I think
nice.
Pops and Comic chose that one as his cover of the week on our socials.
I think he did, or was it the other? There's another variant to that book. I know there's a Scott Young one as well.
Okay.
About. I also got Deceased War of the Undead Gods variant cover.
I'm loving this logo. Finally.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. To be fair, I haven't read these. I've been collecting them to read in one go. I know you said they're pretty good. To be fair,
they're wicked. Yeah.
But I like Deceased anyway. I think it was a really good run. I also got the 2 books we're reviewing. So I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Power Rangers. That's that one. I don't know why I'm shaking the other book. Nice. And then I've got the Book of Slaughter, the Dan Mora cover, which I'm really, really chuffed with.
That's the Is that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one? Is that cover B?
No, mate. This is the full wraparound.
You've got the full wraparound one. Okay.
Yeah, I went for the full wraparound. So I went full hog.
That is awesome. Look at that. That's awesome. Because obviously we'll get into it, but there are various covers. But that is awesome. Dan Mora is best. Yeah,
Dan Mora is just wow. We all know that I've got a bit of an affiliation for Dan Mora, just a little bit.
Darren's just saying that Darren's saying he prefers Slip a Digit.
Slip a Digit is much better than tickle my
pickle. You could actually slip a digit while tickling the pickle.
You could do hashtag slip me some digits.
That's a whole different show. That might be another show.
That's for our OnlyFans page, mate.
It is indeed.
And then from the lovely, what's his name? I was just about to say his name and it's completely gone. The guy from Digital. Rich. What? Yes. Sorry. Fucking hell. I was literally just about to say his name and it literally left my head. Thank you.
Sorry about that, Rich. I'm so sorry, mate.
Yeah. Sorry, Rich. Rich was kind enough to send me another copy of Digital Volume 3. So I now have double of like Volume 1, 2, and 3. So I would really like to do a charity auction. So issue 1, 2, and 3 will be up for grabs for a charity auction to give back to, I think it's Mind I'd like to do. And then Rich was talking about doing a cancer charity because close to his heart. So we'll split it 50-50 between the 2 charities. But if you're up for that, that's also what I got. So we'll do that.
I think this year we're going to be working really closely with like the digital guys and Rich and all that, because I think we've got some ventures and fingers in many pies, slipping digits in pies and stuff like that. So we've got some ventures going on, so there will be more news to follow. So we'll post it on Facebook, we'll post it on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. So we will keep you all updated.
With all hope and pleasure, I really hope they ask me to do a cover. Just saying, Rich, I am available. I can do one. And then I finally got my J. Scott Campbell Spawn and Batman. I didn't get it from Galactic. I managed to get it from Sad Lemon because they are all sold out now. You cannot get them for love nor money, and you can only get them on back order. But they don't have any for you to order, apparently. So
it's a really nice cover as well, though.
Oh, mate, it's stunning. It's probably my favorite J. Scott Campbell cover from 2022.
I do like that. I'm still after the J. Scott Campbell Harley Quinn, the one that he did. Where I think it's Batman White Knight. I think it's issue number 6. Where she's sitting on the wall and she's in her full jester thing. I couldn't get that, and I did see it on eBay before Christmas. I think Sad Lemon had it for about £6. So I think I'm going to try and get it, but I prefer to buy from Galactic.
Yeah, I prefer to buy from Galactic. Keep it small businesses.
Yeah.
And then for Christmas, my work colleague got me Marcus Barnett from Bad Boys.
Oh, wicked.
Because we have a kind of this really funny relationship, me and my friend Liz, where she thinks she's part of Bad Boys and I think I'm Marcus Barnett from Bad Boys. So it's kind of an ongoing joke, which is pretty cool. So that was quite nice to get. And then my beautiful wife got me Tony Chopper from One Piece pop vinyl.
That's wicked.
Which is awesome. And I'm really, really chuffed with it. And it's even got one of those pop collector kind of awesome box things.
I'm sure he's a big character in it, but obviously, as you know, I don't read One Piece and stuff. But that's my aim for this year is to read 752,000 pages of One Piece.
Well, please do. I mean, I actually think you'd love it. I actually do think you'd love it.
Oh, is that everything? Is that it?
That is it, mate. That's me. That's me done. Signing off. I can leave now.
So, everyone in the chat, Tom, you're at home. Sit back because have I got some news. So, as probably we all are, I'm a member of a group on Facebook that I think it's like free stuff in Beckenham from where I'm living, and like where people give away stuff and everything. So I think a couple of weeks ago, I was literally just browsing and someone put a picture of all these comics that they were giving away for nothing, from the likes of Paper Girls to the Lumberjanes to Adventure Time and stuff like that. So I was just literally, she put up about 5 or 6 posts and I commented on everyone. She said, giving them away free, BR3, please come and collect, drop a message and I'll get back to you. So I went through about 6 or 7 of the posts and commented saying, would love these, would love these, would love these. She came back and said, unfortunately, these have gone. Unfortunately, these have gone. Sorry, these have gone. Then she came back on one of them and said, yeah, you can have these. So I was like, okay, cool. Arranged the time, went around there, picked up two bags of probably about 120 comics. Flicking through them, got the full run of Lumberjanes, the full run of Paper Girls, full run of Adventure Time. Then a couple of days later, she messaged me saying, the other person that was coming to get the rest of the comics hasn't shown up. No one else is coming to get them. Do you want the rest of them? Also, my husband had found a short box of comics that he didn't know he had. We just need to clear the space. Would you like to come and get them? And I said, yes, I will take every single comic that you have. I go around there expecting them to just be in comics. No bags, no boards or nothing. I was highly entertained and I was highly over the moon when I see that every single comic is very well looked after. It was all bagged and boarded, all in order, fantastic. So I was like, this has made my Christmas. So I get home not expecting anything, flicking through them. I think I've got some nice stuff, Tom. I think I've got some really, really nice stuff.
I'm not going to stop chatting and show.
I'm not going to go through them all because I did count them and there's 362 comics. So I'm not going to go through them. I'm just going to quickly show them. So we've got Tales of the Crypt, issue number 2.
Nice.
Okay. This is from, it doesn't say, but I'm going to post all these on Instagram. We've got number 1, Tales of the Crypt. Here we go.
Nice.
We got another number 2. I guess this is a second run. This is from September 1987. And then we got another one. I haven't looked up any of the prices and stuff, and to be fair, they're just going to stay on my PC anyway. So, what else have we got? Oh, nice. And then, so I've got a full run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Comic Deal literally just dropped in the chat. It's almost like he knew. It's almost like he could sniff out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
But I literally got the full run of these. This is only
looking for that first appearance of Usagi and Jimbo from you.
This is only half of them, right? But then, as James is here, I think I might just show you that one.
Oh.
But honestly, there's just so many of them. And I've got literally that's just loads, right? So then that's that, right? And then we've got, I've never heard of this, Hip Hop Family, right? Got the full run of Hip Hop Family. Never heard of it, but there's some fantastic comics here. I mean, look, you've got Flashmaster Flash, you've got Melly Mel, Keith Cowboy, Kid Cradell, Mr. Ness, and Raheem. Right, so these are literally the full runs, and some of these covers are amazing. Right, I mean, look at this. Look at that, amazing.
That's pretty cool, mate.
Hip Hop Family. I've never even heard of them, but I'm looking forward to reading them. So then I get that. So I'm like, okay, they're pretty cool. Then it gives me some old school Jeff Lemire. So every single comic I've picked up, right, is a full run. Every single comic, all bagged and boarded, full run, Jeff Lemire. Right? So then we go through Jeff Lemire. So I'm thinking, it's no Harley. How wrong was I? The full run of Harley and Ivy meet Betty and Veronica.
Never read it, but that looks awesome.
Looking forward to reading these, I've got to say. And then, so we've got that. Now, I thought this was Jenny Frison, and I can't work out if it is or not. You might be able to tell me if it is, Tom. It does look a bit
it's
like
very Jenny Frison style.
Let's have a look quickly. It might tell me who it is. No, it doesn't. I thought it would, but I'm going to look into that because I think that might be her. Because
What issue is it? I'll have a quick look.
it is issue number 4. I don't think it is, but you never know. And then I think this is my favourite one, issue number 6. Look at that, Harley Quinn looking badass.
That is cool.
So yeah, so that is, I mean, I've literally got about 3 long boxes upstairs full of all these comics that I collected for nothing. And it's just, I'm looking forward to going through them, finding out what they are, and seeing if I've got any more. I've got some Star Wars. I've got a few Star Wars ones upstairs as well that they gave away. I've got some really early James Tynion, and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to post all these up on Instagram and stuff because I think it's just amazing. So massive shout out to Catherine on Facebook, who was giving away these comics and stuff, because I don't know what they would have done with them, but it's amazing. So yeah,
that is cool, man. That's a real star find. That's awesome.
But yeah, look, I mean, this is actually Chris said this is actually insane. In the north, the 3 sites are full of broken teacups, broken dreams, and old shoes. Honestly, I didn't expect to see it. Like, I really didn't expect to see it. And honestly, I love a bargain. So not only did I get that, I also picked up a gaming chair for nothing. A brand, like a near new gaming chair for next to nothing. See it, boom, picked it up. Got it.
Mate, the pages round by me that are like, come and get it for free, are basically people saying, there's Jippos in our area, we come and get this off our lawn.
But yeah, honestly, it's wicked around here because we're high end. You know what I mean? But yeah, Ben, Adventure Time, full run. That's a winner, 100%. Yes, full run. Every single comic, all bagged and boarded. I don't even know like what else there is. There's boxes upstairs that I haven't even gone through. What else have we got? 200 copies of Razzle would still not be enough for our Charles. He's a goer. D-I-M. Yeah, that's a nice one. Good thing I have it, or I'd be sliding into your DMs. Martin, wow, what a find. Congrats, Charlie. Beautiful stuff. Evening peeps. And are the people that you got them from, are they still tied up, or did you let someone know? So that's enough of me showing off. That's enough of Tom showing off. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it, mate.
We haven't had an interlude, so let's just throw one of Tom's best ones out there. So it's that time again where it gets less friendly. This is the time where
it's to start with. It's the first one. It's got to be friendly.
I mean, it goes to the business end. So it is the killer covers for January the 4th, which was New Comic Book Day yesterday. So up first, we have, it's mine. Now, I've got to be honest, it was very, very slim pickings this week. I got in there late again. So I got the scraggins of bollocks. That's what I'm going to say. I got the absolute scraggins.
Hashtag scraggins.
Hashtag scraggins. Hashtag forgot to slip a digit. Hashtag there was nothing.
Tickle my pickle.
There was nothing to tickle my pickle. So I've gone for Batman 131. I've gone for cover C, which is the Stanley Art German Lau variant cover. And that's all I've got to say about it. Not happy with it, but it was that's it. That's my entry for the first Killer Comic Show back. Fantastic, isn't it?
I like it. I like that it looks like he's in, some kind of smoke-filled building. I liked that.
See, I either had the option for going for this one or the red one, and I chose this one.
I quite like it, though. I think it's cleverly done, because he obviously looks like he's part of a smoke, or he is smoke, because obviously he's Batman. He's kind of, in and out of the shadows. I think that's quite cleverly done. But is it a winner this week?
No, 100% not. 100% not. I'm honest. So yeah, this is my one. Up next was, now there's been a lot of talk about this on Instagram, and rightly so. This is Andy's pick, and this is The Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue number 4, cover B by the fantastic and one of my favourites, Lee Bemijo. This is this is freaky as. Do you know what? And the one he did before this was freaky, and I think Andy won with that as well. So I think he's got a penchant for the Joker and for Liber Mijo. And if you're onto a winner, why fix it if it's not broken? But this is the only thing about this is that Red Hood looks out of proportion. His head looks a bit too big for his body.
But then is he supposed to? Because he's a puppet. But so they've done puppet proportions because no puppet ever looks proportionally correct.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to find negatives with this, mate. But I think
sorry. You carry on. I'll shut up. Just shut up, Tom.
I do think it's great, but yes, this is Andy's cover. So what do you honestly think about it? I think it's and it's going to look good in the flesh, I think.
Do you know what? Like, I'm hit and miss with Liber Mijo. I think some of his stuff's really good. I kind of dislike this just because it's so dark and realistic that it kind of puts me off a little bit, and I just don't like clowns. But I like the fact that he's done the Joker and the Red Hood's a puppet. I like the throwback to the fact that the Joker created the Red Hood, so technically, I suppose he is his puppet. I like the gravestones at the bottom. I think that's really clever, very cleverly done, and I like that Joker's waistcoat is the curtains to a like a backdrop on a stage, which I think is pretty cool.
And I think when you look at it like that, I think when you look at it like that, it is basically the puppet master opening the theatre.
Yeah.
So,
but is it my cup of tea? Nah, not really. Does it tickle my pickle? Nah.
Wow. So then, if that didn't tickle your pickle, let's see what did.
This did tickle my pickle, mate. So this was my choice this week. I've gone for Poison Ivy issue 8, and I can't do this as much justice as Andy, but this is cover B by the one and only Jenny Frisson. That is Jenny Frisson. And I just loved it. I thought it was great. I actually really like the Virgin cover of this because it is like an art piece, which I really liked about it. And as we always say, and as Andy says, it's the eyes that draw you in on this one, 100%. And her hands are much better. She's kind of developed that hand, like, you know, she's been working on her drawing for her hands.
Yeah.
And also really like the vines everywhere. I think that works really, really well. What do you think?
I really like it. I think I like it more because I'm actually reading the comic and I'm enjoying the comic.
Yeah,
like this isn't just a cover pick that I would pick up. I really like this, but I have to say, I'm getting bored of the Jenny Frisson covers now because they all seem to be the same pose. They all seem to be like the same color palette. They all seem to be the same positioning of her face, the eyes, and everything. But again, it's working. So why would you fix it?
See, I agree with you. I really do. And that isn't necessarily what drew me to this. What drew me to this was the turquoise vines and the tone color on the purple and the turquoise. It really drew me in. It caught my eye. I was like, that is a cool cover. I really like that. But I totally agree. And I agree with everyone in the chat. You've seen one Jenny Frisson, you've pretty much seen them all. It isn't any different to anything else. But then you could say that about a lot of covers, a lot of artists. But I do like this. I like the way that she's positioned this one and done this one.
I've still picked it up though.
Yeah, I mean, I think I will. I just love the turquoise and the fact that the DC Poison Ivy bit that's at the top is glowing in the same color. I just think it's really clever. If this had been like kind of like a black light cover where it would make those pop, you know, if in a certain lights, like a glow in the dark job, that'd be awesome.
So that is all the votes. So as usual, on the community tab over on the poll on the YouTube, you can place your votes now. I am not expecting to get any votes, and rightly so, because the cover I picked was absolute bat shit, if I'm being honest. But I'm going to be on it next week.
It was smoky bat.
It was smoking bat shit. That's what
smoking
it was.
Bat shit.
But you know
Hashtag tickling my pickle.
I'll hold my hands up. It was shocking. I'll be on it next week. I promise to all my followers and all my dear subscribers. I'll be back next week with a better cover. So that is the 3 covers. We've got Tom's, we've got Andy's, and we've got that one. So we are on week 52. So obviously it's week 1, but these are the comics from week 52. So as always, we are reviewing the comics from Yonder's Past last week. So because it was a busy, hectic week, I forgot to put the 4 comics up on the community tab. So we left it to the man with the muscles, Big Rig, Mr. Tom Malin to pick the two comics out of the 4 comics that we had on show. Tom, you went with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 1, volume 2, and Book of Slaughter. So fantastic choices, by the way. Up first, we have from Boom Studios, we got MMPR TMNT 2 #1, written by the fantastic and Mr. Power Rangers himself, Ryan Parrott, and your favorite artist, Mr. Dan Mora. So this came out on December the 28th. It's the second volume in the MMPR TMNT universe. We've got 8 covers. I think there's about 16 covers in total. I've picked 8. We've got the main cover, which is Dan Mora. We've got cover B, the connecting variant by Dan Mora, cover C and cover D. They are all the connecting variants. And Tom, would you like to hold up what that actually connecting cover looks like?
2 sec ones. Hold your beers, everyone. Just a sec. I wasn't expecting it.
There we go. Made you big as well.
This would literally give Andy anxiety the way I'm holding this book.
Look at that. That is the only thing with that, though, right? Is that with the wraparound, I would have preferred it not to have anything on it.
Yeah, like, I agree.
You know, where it says turtles and stuff.
But you know, when you said about paper quality, the cover quality on this is amazing. It literally feels like cardboard. Awesome.
Yeah, see, and you can see that from the glare as well, but it looks wicked. So we've got these 4 covers.
How sexy I look when you blew me up like that then.
Yeah, it's good, wasn't it? So we've got them 4. And then we've got the highly 1 in 500 variant cover. We've got the FOC Goni Montez variant cover. Now, she did a whole run of these for volume number 1, and it had all the turtles holding the helmets, and then it had all the Power Rangers holding, I think they was holding the weapons of the Ninja Turtles and stuff. My favourite is this LCSD 2022 Ashcan variant cover. This is my favourite cover because I think it's so simple and it literally just looks fantastic. If you was to take that to a Comic-Con and get that signed by all the artists and writers, that would look amazing.
That would look incredible. Awesome, mate. They're doing one for each issue, aren't they?
Yes. Yep. So they're going to be. It's the same as what Goni Montez did last year when, like, she's holding. They're doing this with like all different aspects of the Power Rangers and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then again, we've got the Jenny Frisson variant cover, and again, it's a similar pose.
If that's the Poison Ivy cover at the end.
See what I mean? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's Jenny Frisson. She's great at what we does. Like I've got no. I don't need to comment on it. She's fantastic. She's made it like what it is, but they're all the same. Like it's the same pose, it's the same character, it's the same definition on the cheer, everything. So yes, this is the April O'Neil Jenny Frisson variant cover. As I said, there's about 16 to 20 covers out this week. Tom, this was one of your picks. What did you think about it?
Well, first off, Martin's asked the question about whether or not Dan Mora did the interior artwork. And yes, indeed, he did. He did do the interior artwork. And it didn't disappoint. So this... Basically, MMPR TMNT 2 picks up exactly where the first volume finished. So that would be my only criticism of this book, like a big criticism, is if you haven't read volume 1, you are going to struggle to know who's who and what is going on and, you know, why they're there and all that kind of thing and why they're hunting down Shredder. But basically, Shredder's gone missing. Rita Repulsa has taken Shredder, so they don't know where he is. But the last time they saw him, he was the Green Shred Ranger. So he's all geared up with the Rangers' powers and stuff. So the TMNT and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers are teaming up to try and like find out where Shredder is and take down both their own, you know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja bad guys and like the Foot, and take down Rita Repulsa's crew. Now, I really liked the story of this one. I thought it was really simple. I thought it was effective. I thought it was on the same lines as volume 1. There was not too much to have to take in. There's not too much backstory. There's not too much dialogue to take in. It was very simple. It's very not, I wouldn't say childish, but it's borderline, I would say. Like, it's not hard to follow. You pick up aspects of the relationships between the characters, the similarities between, obviously, Jason and Leo, the similarities between Tommy and Raph, and like Donatello and Billy, which is pretty cool. I liked all that. And then obviously Mikey and Zach as well. There's similarities between those characters and they build on that, which is really cool. And the artwork just is amazing. Just Dan Mora is so good at being able to tell a story with his artwork. There's a few panels where you don't necessarily need the dialogue to be able to understand what's going on. Now, I've changed my pick of slide I wanted to show you. Sorry, panels I wanted to show you, because I really liked this scene inside the prison, because you read the left-hand side from left to right all the way down, and then at the bottom you go over and you go from right to left on the way up, as Rocksteady is coming out of the prison. And I thought that was a really clever way of doing paneling, and the artwork works really well, it flows really well. I just thought that was a really clever idea. So I just wanted to share that with you.
That caught me out.
Yeah, it caught me out.
Reading it, and I kind of went down and went, hold on, now comes they've got onto the roof, they smashed through the roof, and now they're working down. And then I realised you follow the red arrows.
Yes. And if you follow his speech bubble, it's really, really cool. I mean, it's just, clever. It's different. I've not seen that before. So I was really quite excited by that. And like, I love the artwork. The story I thought was great. It's not going to win any Oscars. It's not do a powerbomb for sure. And it's not like, you know, The Closet. It's not going to get us talking about it for hours and hours on end. But as a first comic to read in the new year, I really enjoyed it. It was great. For me, it was a killer. What did you think, Charlie?
So obviously I'm a massive Ninja Turtles fan, massive Power Rangers fan. I loved it. I read every issue last year when it came out. I collected all the Gone in One test covers. I got the trade paperback of issue #1. So I was ecstatic when this was coming out, because there was talk last year that Ryan Parrott was stepping away from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And he kind of did for an issue or two. And then that's when I think there was a Power Rangers book that I kind of I couldn't get on with, just totally lost interest.
Because they changed it, didn't it? It was, when they split the teams off, and you'd got the Omega Rangers and the Power Rangers, and they lost Dan Parrott at that part. And you need the books.
I got into that, and I was like, it was too all over the place, and I was like, this isn't what a Power Rangers fan from old wants to see. Like, I think that part, it would have worked better as a TV series. But for me, the comics, I kind of switched off on that. So this was refreshing to have it back, to have two childhood comics and TV shows come at it again, pick up from where it left off. I think Andy summed it up earlier when he messaged and was just like, what the hell is going on? Because if you haven't read the first volume, this is going to look like a whole load of hot mess. Like there's fighting from left to right. You've got turtles dressed up as Power Rangers. You've got Power Rangers using turtle toys, that's a new one. Turtle weapons and stuff like that.
Hashtag turtle toys.
So hashtag turtle toys. And it would have been all over the place. You wouldn't have had a clue. But for me, reading this is one of the first comics I've read this year. And it was amazing. Like Dan Mora, I can see why you have a thing for Dan Mora's art, because he's sublime. And I think the partnership that Ryan Parrott has with Dan Mora.
I've got a penchant.
Yeah, I think the partnership that Ryan Parrott has with Dan Mora, I couldn't see this comic or Power Rangers with another artist. I don't think it would work.
No.
I think the way that he's paneling, the way that he's broke it up, like his line work, even the shading on this first panel that you've picked here, I think it's just great. And I wasn't really one for like when they highlight the words of the sounds that, like, if you're being hit and stuff like that. But the way that it's done with Dan Mora's work, I just think it works, and it creates the whole thing of when you're watching a TV show again.
But don't you think it's really cool that they actually they play on that? And I loved that, because obviously they do that in the show, in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers show. So in the first volume, the Teenage Mutant Ninja is like, why do you keep saying hi-yo when you throw a kick? And then they continue that in this book. Like Leonardo started doing it. He's like, actually, it's quite freeing to do it. So I like that. It's a nice little throwback.
Yeah, I thought it was great. But then, so we've got these fantastic panels, and we've got Rocksteady there looking amazing. And then we kind of go into this. This kind of reminded me of like DC Vampires kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, this is getting dark now. This is getting good. And then we see, I mean, he made a appearance right at the start of the comic. And then we find him again, Casey Jones. Like, I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't like Casey Jones. I know Ben is a massive fan of Casey Jones. He's got the mask and everything. But I thought this was great because the relationship in the film between Raphael and Casey Jones has always been who's the better fighter, who's got the better characteristics, everything. Then when Casey Jones comes back, saves Raph's ass, and he just literally lands one on him. Boom! I felt it. I was like, yeah, is this going to go tits up, or is Casey Jones going to take it? Cut a long story short, it don't go the way that I think many people were expecting it to go. And this one on the right hand side, one of the final pages, that's Casey Jones. Like, what the hell? I did not see that coming.
Tools to the eyeballs as a ranger.
I did not see that coming.
No.
And the whole thing is now you kind of Casey Jones is with is he on the side of Rita Repulsa? Is he with Shredder? You just
right
don't
at the
know.
end, he leaves, doesn't he, with Rocksteady and
Bebop.
Goldar.
And Goldar, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is if you was a Power Rangers fan and a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan when you was a kid, this is all your dreams rolled into one. Like, this is fantastic. This is what reading comics is about. It was fun, it was enjoyable, it was full of action, it was full of laughter, it was full of humor, and it was full of fantastic artwork. And if you're not reading this, jump on the trade paperback from volume 1 and then jump straight into this, because it's a really, really enjoyable comic, and I'm really glad that you kind of picked it. So thanks, mate. It was, it's wicked.
No. If you want to know what we thought of Volume 1, you actually can go back. I think me and Charlie might have reviewed Volume 1 about 4 years ago when it actually came out.
Yeah.
And also, if you go back, I think it's 4 episodes of this, you'll find me doing it as our killer pick as well, where I discuss it. So if you want to know a little bit more about it.
But yeah, see what I mean? Dan Mora's incredible book ordered. Yeah, go for it, man. And please let me know. Like, let us know. Just drop us a message or comment on this show and let us know what you thought. But this is a definite killer for me. And I'm looking. Do you know how many runs this is?
I think it's the same as it was before. Is it 7 issues? I want to say 7 issues.
Because also what I'm loving about this is that Batman did one as well. Batman did one with the Turtles.
Yeah,
and I like all
James
the
Tynion
mashups.
wrote that one.
Yeah, I like all the mashups. You've got Batman did one with the Turtles. You've got the DC characters do one with like the Looney Tunes. You've got Batman doing one with like the Scooby Doo and the Mystery. Like, it's just wicked. I like the way they do these mashups, but for me, this is the best one. This is the best one.
They're fun,
aren't
they?
It's just awesome.
Yeah,
it really is awesome. So that was like starting 2023 with a bang, or 2022 if you're Triple G and still living in the past. Then up next, your second choice was Book of Slaughter. This isn't issue 1. This is just a one-shot. So we've got the main cover by the one and only Dan Mora. We've got the Marco Mastrazzo 616 Comics exclusive. We've got a Jenny Frisson variant A, which is Jenny Frisson, and we've got Big Time Collectibles. It's like Prison Island. And we've got a Big Time Collectibles exclusive variant. Tom, over to you, mate.
So, this Book of Slaughter, picks up after Aaron's death in Something's Killing the Children. So Aaron, if you don't know, is part of the House of Slaughter. He's one of the Black Masks. He is Erica Slaughter's essentially little brother, big brother. So he unfortunately gets in Something's Killing the Children. And then this issue comes straight off the back of that because Erica's gone wild. There are no other Black Masks. So at this point, the book of the House of St. George does not have a Black Mask. So this book is about this particular character whose name I can't remember on the front. It's her decision whether she's going to stay as a white mask. Maxine, that's it, yeah. So it's whether or not she's going to stay as a white mask or transfers over into being a Black Mask. And it's a really good story. I thought James Tynion did a great job of kind of going through the ins and outs of how the House of St. George works, you know, why they do what they do, how they do what they do, how they've developed over the years, you know, how St. George was the original, how the children that they would pick to be monster hunters had to have killed a monster. And then that's changed because not many children were killing the monsters. And it's a really clever the way he's really explained pretty much the entirety of the House of Slaughter universe within this one book.
Just look at that comment.
Yeah. Oh no, mate. Yeah, me too.
Oh, hold on. Well, we've got a latecomer.
Hello, Connie.
Where are you now? Where are you in? Are you in Newcastle? Are you in Leeds? Are you in Harrogate? Where are you? Oh, here. Sorry, I'm late. I was at Cadets. Lol. How's it going? Very, very good. You're going to have to catch a
Happy
rewind.
New Year, mate.
Happy New Year. So, sorry, Thomas.
I can't remember where I was, but anyway, yeah, the book's amazing. James Tynion does a great job, developing the world of something's killing the children. And we've picked some great pages here. I mean, that one in the middle was the one I picked because you literally have. I don't know if any of you guys have read it, but there's a book out there that came out back in early 90s, which is called the Spawn Bible, which was basically Todd McFarlane did each individual character with a little character bio. And I loved that book. That was the first book I ever had as a comic book collector. I loved it. I even took my shit old version that's all battered and bruised to Comic-Con in New York to get Todd McFarlane sign it. And he thought it was hilarious that I'd still got it. And it was stuck together with like bits of tape because my mom put it back together for me because I ripped it. Anyway, this page reminded me of that because it's essentially a little bit of their St. George Bible of why they do what they do and how they do what they do. And I thought that was really clever and a really good take on it. But the story's still there that you're following this Maxine's development into whether or not she's going to choose to become a black mask or stay as a white mask. So, yeah, over to you, Charlie. What did you think? I thought it was killer, by the way.
So do you know what? So I hadn't read Something is Killing the Children since issue 23. So I've been following it. So I hadn't read it till issue 23. And I kind of caught up this afternoon. So I read 23, 24, all the way up to 27 to the current. And then I kind of caught up with House of Slaughter as well. Because I think we've said before, House of Slaughter is now going to slowly start tying into Something is Killing the Children. I think that James Tynion has an end game, and I think we're starting to see this now. I mean, he's released this one shot, and it kind of tells the story, as you said, the story of Maxine. With House of Slaughter tells the story of Aaron, how he kind of became like a white mask and then kind of got into a black mask, and how his relationship built with Cecilia, the House of Slaughter, and Erica Slaughter. And now we're kind of seeing on the flip side of that, we know what Erica's up to. If you're following Something is Killing the Children, she's gone off on one. She's kind of doing things her own. She's killed I think it's 46 of the diplodocytypes. She's killed 46 of them, which is kind of unknown to the House of Slaughter. Like no black mask has ever done that. She's gone on a rampage and she's doing the good deed, but not how House of Slaughter want it done. So they've kind of, in the story, they kind of get someone in to kill Erica Slaughter. So while you're reading that story, while you've got what's going on with Aaron in the House of Slaughter, this is then thrown into the mix. And this was a breath of fresh air for it being so dark, mysterious in Something is Killing the Children in the House of Slaughter, that this kind of made you feel part of the whole Something is Killing the Children ethos. Because we find out about Maxine. She's torn between being a white mask, being a black mask, but at the start of it, this is Aaron. So we find out like months ago, because we see him get killed, but that was it. We see him get killed in the woods. Erica ran off, and that was it. That was the last we heard of it. We now see how graphical it was and how he died and stuff like that. So on that flip side, you're kind of feeling sorry for him, but then you're thrown into it. And the thing I liked about this is that it's called the Book of Slaughter, and I just thought it was going to be all about Maxine. But for 17 pages, you see Maxine go into the library and she opens up the Book of Slaughter and reads it. And you're reading it with her as if you were reading it. So every page you turn over is the exact page of what she's reading on the book. And I really like that because I was like...
It was such a clever, refreshing way of doing it.
It was amazing because obviously if you followed Something is Killing the Children from issue 1, you kind of know what it's about. But to actually read the whole backstory of it and the training that they go through and everything, it was like a history lesson, and it was really, really enjoyable. I thought it was great. And then at the end, we find out that Maxine does decide to become a black mask, but not only does she decide to become a black mask, she's actually wearing Aaron's mask.
Yeah. And you know what I can see is going to happen? Do you remember, is it Jay, who is his boyfriend in House of Slaughter? He's going to come and he's going to completely fuck shit up.
Yeah. But it's a fantastic story. And I started reading again Something is Killing the Children, and I really got into it again. Like, I'm really looking forward to when the show ends, continue reading it, because I want to know how it's wicked. It's James Tynion's best work in ages. It's fantastic. And if there's anyone out there that hasn't read it or doesn't know about Something is Killing the Children, You need to get on it, because even you've got the slip book, the slip cover that came with it. That's fantastic. It's amazing. It's just graphically, it's a great book. It's a really interesting book, and I think this is Boom Studios' cash cow.
Yeah,
And
definitely, mate. And I think if
why
you
wouldn't
could
it be?
get that slipcase and have it on your shelf, you're going to go back to it time and time again. Because I think I've read the first 5 or 6 issues a couple of times, and you do pick up on stuff you didn't know the first time round reading it. And
Yeah.
especially if you read this book and how they decide for people to become part of the House of Slaughter, and then you go back and read Erica's origin story, you're a little bit like, oh, actually, she probably shouldn't have been picked in areas. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, I got Kieran Gillen's slipcase from.
You got slipped by Kieran Gillen. Is that at Thought Bubble?
I got at Thought Bubble. I got his I can't remember what it's called. What is the slipcase
Once
that we
in
got?
Future.
Once and Future, and it's fantastic. And then
Oh,
now
mate, one
having
of them.
seen Something Is Killing the Children, I want that as well, just for it to sit nice. So yeah, I'm looking. Oh, it is Jace. Yes, indeed,
Jace,
it
yeah.
is Jace. I hope Jace does come and fuck shit up. To be honest, I think he will. I think the way the House of
think he will.
Slaughter has been panned out, and I think the way that this is going to pan out.
If you have a look at this month's previews magazine, Jace is on the front cover of House of Slaughter. So I'm guessing that's going to be a tie-in.
I've still got that on my pull list, and I'm still looking forward to reading it. So yeah.
Yeah,
So Tom, you've had 2 good choices, and you've smashed them out of the park of each of them. So yeah, that's 2 killers to start off 2023.
I'm sure it would have been one. It would have been 2 killers, 1 bidder for Andy if Andy had been here.
We don't know. You don't know. It does surprise us sometimes. That old
It does
perpetual.
surprise us.
It does. So that's the comics done. So now we're on to the killer picks.
The killer picks.
The killer picks. So up first, Andy picked Image. By Image Comics, it's Black Cloak issue number 1, written by Kelly Thompson, art by Meredith McLaren. Cover price is $4.99. Distribution code is on your screen right about now, and this is available in shops next week, January the 11th. Now, this I wasn't aware of this. This tells the story of Blade Runner style mixes with saga-esque drama in a delectable sci-fi fantasy blend as 2 black cloaks try to solve the murder of a beloved prince in Kiros, the last city in the known world before his murder tips the city into war. I kind of get Black Widow vibes from this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about it. It's kind of one that I think would have easily gone under the radar for me. It seems like 2 different stories. I don't know if it's 2 different stories telling the same thing coming together, but the 2 covers look very different.
Yeah, I mean, I like the covers. I think they're very clever. The fact that it's been told it's Blade Runner mixing with Saga. I mean, I don't know if you guys have read Saga, but Saga is an incredible read. What's his name? Brian K. Vaughan is the writer for that, and he's insane. So if this is a mix between that and Blade Runner, I'm interested, 100% interested.
I think it. I mean, Saga. I've never really got into it. I think I kind of missed that boat, and again, it was like I can't jump on. There's like 67 issues. I ain't got time to invest to read that. But
Charlie, the Compendium is a lovely book to have on the shelf.
No, don't tickle my pickle, mate. Comet Dealer said, House of Slaughter is basically what my house is like if my youngest doesn't get a nap. I feel you, mate. I do feel you very, very well. And there we go. So Connie has said, I haven't seen anything about Black Cloak at all. I think if it wasn't for Andy highlighting things like this, a lot of us wouldn't know about this. And that's just how it is. I think Andy's got the eye sometimes just to pick out stuff. The majority of the time he's picked out stuff, and a lot of the viewers and people in the chat have gone on to buy it and really enjoy it. So I'm glad that we can kind of do this and push people towards something that they wouldn't necessarily read. Comics and Pops, thank you very much for joining us, sir. I hope you are well. One of the best writers out there. He's saying that Kelly Thompson is on absolute fire. And Panels in a Half Pint, it says Sire is incredible, as I think he means Saga. Saga is incredible and well worth the investment. And
no, he's right. Sire is the Irish version of Saga.
Kelly Thompson's Black Widow run was excellent. See, I knew I was getting Black Widow vibes from it as well. But yeah, if you haven't checked this out, this comes out next week. Go and grab it. And then, Tom, you've gone for
I've gone for Clear. It's not by Image, and I made that cock up earlier on. It's actually a Dark Horse comic, but this is from Scott Schneider and Francis Manapul. This is a Comixology original. It doesn't come out until hold on, where are we? March. March the 8th, I think. Oh yeah, actually, it's written there. Twat. It's right on the screen. I could have just read it off the screen. What an idiot. But yeah, so this is basically Scott Schneider at his best. So you're following a character in the not too distant future where mankind no longer has the stresses of the world as it truly is. The invention of neurological filters have made it so one can view reality however they may choose. Old Hollywood, microchrome, zombie apocalypse, anime, the possibilities are endless. Neo Seamus Sam Dunes is the one of the only handful who chooses to live without a filter. With the death of one of an old flame's reveals foul play, June is set on a wild and twisting mystery that will take him from this city, deadly underworld, and to even deadlier heights with wealth and power.
That sounds
awesome.
That sounds well interesting.
It does. It sounds awesome. Now, this has already obviously been out, so I managed to get a screen grab from Comixology to show you what the artwork is like on the inside, and it's stunning. And because of it being this kind of like alter reality sort of thing, anyone can change to anything. Some of the pages really throw you, like it's got Gotham-esque vibes, then it's got like Metropolis vibes, it's then got like Batman, Marvel vibes, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing. It's amazing how Francis Manapul has managed to change his artwork style from page to page, and then in places from panel to panel. It's just insane. But there's I managed to get a little clip that someone has said about it, and they've said Clear One is peak cyberpunk noir. Snyder isn't reinventing the wheel, but this story is more than the sum part because of Manapul's art. It feels like Schneider wrote this specifically for Manapul, and it makes it very, very special to read.
That's interesting. And Connie's already saying that she's read it. So, I mean, again, this might be one that I'm definitely going to get on, I think.
I think it'd be one I read, yeah.
This looks very interesting. So, Clear One. Yeah, I mean, Scott Snyder, like, you can't really do any wrong anyway. And I like Francis Manapul. He's worked with, I think he's worked with Ramvi quite a bit. He's done some good stuff for DC and stuff. So, yeah, I like it. I like it when there's good partnerships. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's two fantastic comics. I've gone for something a bit different.
Nice.
Right. So I've gone for Mox. Right. So this is a autobiographical. This is an autobiography by one of my favorite wrestlers. So Tom, you know how much I love my wrestling. James,
I do.
Scissor Me Daddy-O, you know how much I love my wrestling and stuff like that. And this for me is an amazing book. It's a fantastic book. I haven't read it yet, but from what I've heard of it, it's a very in-depth look at Jon Moxley as a wrestler. It's looked at, if you're a wrestling fan, you know very much that Jon Moxley last year checked himself into rehab for alcohol abuse. And I think it was where he was thrown onto the scene so much in 2018 with like the Shield and joining WWE with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. They kind of come on and it was a massive hoo-ha. They literally took the world by storm. One of the greatest fractions of all time in my eyes, along with DX. And it's a book that I've been meaning to read and meaning to pick up and stuff like that. But it's just, I'm really looking forward to reading this. And it tells the story of his struggling and how he became a professional wrestler and how he had nothing and he kind of got on from it. And it basically says, a vivid trip through the mind of the top professional wrestler in the business, a nobody from nowhere who achieved his ambitions and walked away with the gold and the girl of his dreams. Ride along Jon Moxley as he retraces some of the highways travelled on his remarkable journey, reveling the never before told stories about his early life in Cincinnati, Ohio, the gritty independent story wrestling scene where he cut his teeth, the complicated corporate landscapes of the WWE where he bucked against authority, and the rebellious upstart AEW where he finally won the championship in 2020 and was finally free to achieve the vision of the wrestler he'd always wanted to be. Now, I've read the reviews on this, and again, you don't have to be a wrestling fan to want to read this. If you are a wrestling fan, you'll kind of get some of the terminology and stuff like that, but it's meant to be amazing. I'm looking forward to buying this, and I just wanted to highlight this, that not only do we review comics and promote comics on the show, we also promote other things, whether it be TV shows, video games, and autobiographies. So yeah, this is my pick.
Very good pick, mate. I
Is
mean,
this something you agreed?
Yes, it is. I love reading these kind of books. This is my kind of thing. I like reading people's stories. Charlotte got me Jason Fox's for Christmas. I've just started reading that. So yeah, if you read it, let me know if it's any good because I'd get it, 100%.
Darren definitely gets it. Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta spell shield, and this was kind of when it all started in WWE. The arena would go black, and you would hear that over the tannoys, and then you'd get these three hoodlums just coming into the stage, walking through the crowd, jumping, attacking anyone in their wake, and just leaving a mass destruction. And that was it. But yeah, look, massively into my wrestling, massively into my comics, massively into my reading. So why wouldn't I pick something like this? So yeah, check it out. That's it.
I like that. It's a good pick, mate.
Killer pick of this year. Thank you very much. So next up, we ran with this. Andy decided to come with this, and we've gone with it. There's a lot of shows on our counterparts. Like we've got Tom. We've got Ben does it. We've got Pete doing it. Everyone's doing it. So we was kind of like, well, Triple G does, and it works very well. And I think it highlights that not only do we all review comics and stuff like that, but we love our toys and our collectibles and stuff. So we've got the killer toy pick. So up first, I've gone for the McFarlane Toys Batman Hush 7-inch. A 7-inch Batman.
7 inches of tickling my pickle.
And you can't shout about it because it's telling you to hush. This is $23.99. It's available in shops to pre-order now. So head over to Amazon, head over to McFarlane Toys, and you can pre-order it. And numerous retailers. This is basically the incredible detailed 7-inch scale figure based off the DC Marvel universe. It's fantastic. I like the detailing on this, and the whole comic premise of Hush is, again, it's a foe or a friend of Batman who's come back to right the wrongs that he's creating and stuff. But the thing that really drew me to this figure is the way that the cape moves, like the way that the cape is articulated. There's various pictures of this on the McFarlane site of the way that the cape, like you can droop it around Batman, you can kind of position it, and I just think, yeah, I'm definitely going to buy this along with the Harley Quinn from last week's show. I'm definitely going to buy this.
Yeah, it's nice. I like the shimmer on the blue. Yeah. I think it's really clever.
And it's gone old school, do you know what I mean?
Looks like a shimmer, yeah.
And again, it comes with 2 extra hands, 2 batarangs, and a base included, as they all do with a collectible card. So if you are a McFarlane Toys collectible, head out there and pick this up. I think Peter said it looks very good, and Panels has said not much for toys, but would love a good Spawn figure. Yes, indeed. Spawn or Sprawn, if you're a hobgobliner. Andy's gone for the Judge Dredd, Judge Fear Black and White PX 1 in 18th scale mini AF. Price $19.99. Available in shops in May. And this is a previews exclusive from Hire. Judge Fear is a terror-inducing member of the Dark Judges, the alien super fiends from a dimension where all life has been declared a crime. I'm not a Spawn reader. Is he anything for you? Because he looks bloody awesome, if I'm being honest.
I don't know, mate. I don't read Judge Dredd, so I don't know the character. But when you said the scale mini AF, I was like, does that mean he's small as fuck? Like, is he tiny? Is he like this big? But yeah, no, he does look cool. I mean, if you were into this kind of thing and you wanted this character, it looks very well made. I mean, that cloth, that cape is clearly proper cloth. Yeah, not plastic or anything, which looks cool.
It does look good. And he's also gone for the Judge Anderson and Lawmaster MK2PX AF set as well. So, but this looks good as well. Like for the money, I think this looks great, because this is something you'd kind of expect to be up there with like Hot Toys at like around £200-300. And looking at the detailing of it, when Andy sent it through, I had a look at it, and it's really detailed and it looks really well made. I've never heard of Hire before. Pete, no. I don't know if you've heard of them, because you're our toy concierge. But it looks great. It really, really does look great. And this is why I kind of like this part of the show, because again, it's highlighting companies that I've never really heard of.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I mean, the detailing on that bike is insane, and like how they made it look rusty and stuff. This is obviously clearly these two are proper like collectors, pieces you put on your shelf and you don't necessarily ever touch again. Whereas the Batman that you showed is one that you could play with. I don't think you'd want to play with these two if you like. They're not like play sets, are they? They're more
No,
like collectible action figures to put up on the shelf to never touch again or take out of their box.
But I mean, with the Harley Quinn Hot Toys from last week, even the box has got so much character that I think after I've got her out, taken my pictures, done my socials and stuff, I put her back in the box and display the box because there's so.
Just clarify, you're talking about Harley Quinn, right?
Yes,
you're talking about an action figure.
I am talking about an action figure, yes, indeed. But yes, these are the two toys that Andy's chosen, and I've obviously chosen the Batman one as well. So, Tom, I would like you to jump on this because I'd like to see what your interests are towards.
I mean, I don't really collect action figures mainly because I can't afford them and I've got nowhere to put them. But what I could do is show you what I would get if I had money, and I did have somewhere to put them. So yeah, I will look at it next time.
There we go. We've got some Geordie knowledge here. It says also, hiya is Geordie for greetings, my good fellow.
Hiya.
Good. Have that. Hiya. So, yeah. So we got that. Then, this is it. We got the topic table. Killer Comics topic table. So, Tom, I told you that it was all about horror comics this week, didn't I?
You did?
I decided to change it last minute because I was thinking on the train home, right? So, I've got a pull list with Galactic Comics. On the train home, I cancelled my whole pull list. By one comic, by two comics. White Knight, Batman Presents a White Knight by Sean Murphy and Batman, because obviously I've got 131 issues of it, so I kind of want the collector in me wants to keep doing it. But then I kind of just had a realization, and I just sat down and thought, other than my Comixology subscription, everything I read is on digital or in trade paperback format. Okay. And I've been umming and ahhing for the past couple of months, backwards and forwards. I want to display comics. I want them to look good. But other than displaying them in a long box or on a shelf like that, they could be anything. That could be bales of A4 paper. Other than me,
they could just be empty bags and boards.
Yeah, other than me knowing what they are, someone could walk in and look at that and go, Jesus, he's messy. So the topic table for this week is comic collecting FOMO. Am I really going to miss out? So, as a collector, hear me out here.
Go for it, mate. Yeah, I'm all ears. I'm all ears, pal.
Because I'm ready to talk about this one. So, when I started collecting comics, I kind of went after full issues. I wanted to collect the full issue because I was like, if I have that run, I know I've got that full issue. I know that I'm not missing out on anything. I know the full story. I got it. As time's gone on, I've started reading everything online because one, it's more accessible, and two, I don't have to go out of my way to go to a shop and buy it. I know with like online retailers and stuff like that, I don't have to go out of my way to buy what I want to read. And because I'm kind of like Comixology, it's there, I can read it, I'm done. I'm not going out of my way. It's so plain and simple. Collecting comics on the other end is like, I've slowly started to just go after the cover art, because the way I'm going now is that the majority of the stuff I'm going to be doing is collecting the cover art that I like and sending it off to CGC, because I think I've kind of progressed naturally going from comic reading to comic collecting to CGCs, because I think slabs look much better displayed than a pile of comics do. So in my eyes, I'm not missing out because I've stopped collecting, because I'm still reading it digitally. I'm just not going to physically own it. So I don't think I'm missing out, but there's still that fear in me of missing out, of thinking, oh, what if one comic becomes a hot issue and I've dropped it from my pull list and I don't have it?
But my argument to that be, well, what would you do with it? If it became a hot comic, what would you do with it? It would stay in the box and you would do nothing with it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter if it becomes a hot comic or not. If you're buying comics to invest in comics to then sell off in the future, then yeah, you're going to be really annoyed if you've missed out on that, first appearance of Erica Slaughter. You'll be like, shit, I've missed that first appearance. I'm never going to get that again. Never going to be able to afford it. But on the flip side, if you're not buying it to then sell on or for your kids to sell on, what is the point in going out and spending a shitload of money on a first appearance of a character that no one necessarily cares about unless they're trying to buy it for later on to put into investment for something else? You're not going to miss out because you can still access the story. Now, I'm the same as you. I had this epiphany back in 2013 when my comic book collection had overrun me completely. Like I had long boxes up to my eyeballs. I looked like you know when you go into the hoarders' houses and there's long boxes all the way up to the top of the ceiling. That's literally what my collection was originally. And I'd got to the point where like I was going to the comic shop every 2 weeks and I was spunking about £150 every 2 weeks. Now,
I'm glad you said you was. I'm glad you put money at the end of that because that would have been.
Yeah, it could have been not PG. Tickle me pickle. But yeah, so I was doing that every 2 weeks. That's like £300 a month on comic books, on bits of paper. And it was one of those things where like I was looking at the previews magazine, I was going, oh, I want that book because of that cover. I want that book because of that cover. And I want that book because of that story. And I was like, I love that story. I'm going to keep that book. I really want to read that Marvel comic. I want to read that DC comic, but I don't want to miss out because I don't want to know. I know what's going on with Superman, but I don't want to miss out because I want to miss out on what's going on with Batman. And I spent so much money. And I look back at it now and I think, what did I gain from it? Apart from being able to have a bit of knowledge on the characters. And yeah, I probably did have, and I definitely did have the first appearance of Miles Morales when it first came out. Ultimate Fallout issue 4, because I got all the Ultimates because I loved that universe. But when it got to 2013, I had the same kind of realization as you. Like, I originally got into comics. I got into reading Spawn because I liked the story, not because of the artwork, not because I wanted the fancy covers or I wanted to know what Batman was doing or I wanted to make sure I didn't miss out or, you know, go to a comic convention and not be able to talk to someone about that particular character because I didn't know anything about it. I only got into it for the stories I liked. So in 2013, I met Charlotte, and Charlotte was like, why do you have all these? What are you going to do with them? What, do you ever go back and read them? I had every intention of going back and rereading them, but I had so many that you're not going to trawl through a box and be like, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to read 50 single issues of this particular book. No, I'm not. I'm going to go down the shop and I'm going to buy a graphic novel of the same book I already own in the comic box somewhere. And at that point, I thought, do you know what? I'm making a huge mistake here. This is taking up all this space. And someone else could enjoy these books for what they, you know, for the value of the first appearance of the characters or whatever. So I sold basically 3/4 of my collection to a collector. And then I bought myself a Stan Lee print, which is worth more money now than any of those comic books put together. So I'm happy that I've reinvested, but that is a print that'll be on my wall. I can see it every night, every day. I can enjoy that print. And it is from my first ever Spider-Man comic I had, which is issue 1 of Torment, which is a Todd McFarlane book. So I'm really pleased with that. I have then slowly built up my collection again. I've still got all my Transformer comics and I've still got stuff that I enjoy. But what I do now for collecting, because I don't care about having, you know, the best issues or like having the first appearance of the characters. What I care about is finding a story I enjoy and then getting that full run, but as a trade. But if I do like that particular book, I'll get the first issue to say that I have the first issue in my collection. So, for instance, Do a Powerbomb. I only have issue 1 of Do a Powerbomb, and well, issue 7, but I'm selling it. But I've got issue 1, and I'm going to get the trade, and that's what I'm going to collect from now on. And I don't care about missing out on all the other bits and bobs because there'll be something new in 6 months' time. That'll, like, think about it. If you think of Punchline, she was hot news. The first issue of Hotline of Punchline with the first appearance, it was going off the charts. Now she's nothing. No one cares.
Exactly. And I think so. Chris Bell said, I think the plan is solid. I too am likely to move away from single issues I don't want, slabbing and or existing classics I want. I already read everything online anyway. And then he's also said he's going to buy like Omnis and stuff like that. I think the completionist in me wants every issue.
Same.
But then the OCD part of me that really likes displays and stuff wants things to look nice. So in the way to merge them is to get a trade paperback or a hardback or an Omni, because 1, I'm completing it, and 2, it looks good. And I just think it's interesting because obviously Highland G has said, I only really buy collected editions, and if I don't read them in a reasonable period, then I sell them off or not.
And that's a good way of doing it, really.
Totally agree with that. And then Ed Vickers said, I'm not sure the industry works without people buying the single issues. There's not much money for the artists and writers as it is. 100%. I totally
True.
get that. And there's always going to be a market for that. There's always going to be a market for people buying single issues, because if that stops, the comic industry is non-existent. I think everyone's already scared of it going digital and stuff like that. And yeah, fair enough. It's like a double-ended sword. Like, we're kind of not helping the situation by reading online. But then you've got the writers and artists. I mean, you've got Scott Snyder, Best Jacket Press. He's kind of started his own thing. You've kind of got Comixology that's got numerous artists on there that are doing their own stuff. There's various different medias out there that you can read comics, and you can still fund for the artists and the writers and stuff like that. I just think the enjoyment for me personally of going out and buying comics now is, maybe it's because I'm running out of space. I still enjoy reading a comic, but I would much rather, I think it's because I've become a bit lazy. It's just more convenient to read it online, because all the comics that I buy, I don't read. I just read them online anyway, because I don't want to touch them.
Yeah. I agree with you, mate. Like, I think it's that display thing. In my mind, I keep thinking about, I've got these boxes in the loft that I don't go through. No one sees. Whereas if I had a trade, they're on the shelf. I can see them. I'll be like, okay, well, I'll read that later, or I might reread that again shortly. And then, well, I've got comics I don't even know I've got half the time in the single issues. But, you know, like we said, and like the comments have said, if you don't buy single issues, it doesn't promote them to then do a trade paperback. However, I personally think the future of comics is going to go down the digital route.
Yeah.
And then you will be able to then order, once it's finished, a trade paperback of that series that you've read online. I think that's probably the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
But contradictory to all of what I've just said, there is nothing better than taking your single issue of your favorite issue from a run. So, like, you know, for me, I've got like issue 11 of More Than Meets the Eye, which is where Getaway completely destroys the ship. And I've got it signed by the artist, the writer, the panelist, the colorist, and I think the cover artist as well. And there's nothing nicer than taking a single issue to get it signed by your favorite artists and writers. And you can't ever take that away. But then where do you display that? Because it goes back in the box, because the completion in you is like, I've got 1 to 50. If I take 13 out and get it signed, I've got to put 13 back exactly where it came from.
Which is why I'm kind of gone like the CGC route. And I remember speaking to Tim from the Hobgoblins Hideaway about this on the way to Thought Bubble. I love my comics, and I love the way that they display in CBCS or CGC, because it doesn't have to be, it's not going to be a specific comic in a run or anything. It might just be what I like. And I like the fact that they display so well, and they look like they're pieces of art. And like, when people come in, they're talking about it and they want to know about it. Like, I had a family friend round over Christmas, and he was like, what's a 9.8? What's a 9.6? And I was telling him, and he was interested in it. But you wouldn't get that interest from just displaying a pile of comics. So I'm kind of going down, I'm still going to read comics. I'm never not going to stop reading comics. And yeah, I might pass a comic shop and I might pick up some comics and read them. But the way that I'm going, comic collecting, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And I don't really think I'm going to miss out, because it's so accessible now. Everyone can read a comic. Everyone can pick up a book and read it if they want. And I think collecting comics, going back to Ed Vick, can I have all your comics? No, I'm going to keep them, because I'm going to look through them. And if I want to read them again, I've got the option to, but I'm not going to spend money going forward buying individual comics, because 1, I think I'm running out of space, and 2, I enjoy reading a trade paperback and an omnibus much more than I do in the individual issues, because yeah, I might have to wait longer for them all to come out on a trade, but it's more enjoyable for me, because I'd much rather, like Tom, you do it. I see your post all the time, and it's such a great, refreshing thing to see. It's coffee and contemplation. You literally take yourself away, sit down with a coffee, and just zone out for 10, 15 minutes. I would do that for half hour to an hour a day if I had it, and just sit down and read a trade paperback, because it's refreshing. I'm getting to the point now where I'm reading, there's so many comics coming out now, especially from Marvel and DC, that have got this arc that joins into that arc, and you've got to wait 3 or 4 weeks for it. And by the time it's come out, I'm kind of like, I'm over it. I don't know who this character is. I don't know what the story is. In a trade, you can kind of read it and you're on par throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest, slightly real in a situation. So time is something we all lack.
Mhm.
And the way the world is now is time is going so fast. It's literally hard to catch yourself going backwards, if you like. So
Mhm.
finding the time to read a million different single issues of Batman, Spawn, Superman, Spider-Man, and to
Mhm.
continue to understand what's going on in each book is hard work for anyone,
Yeah.
especially like myself with dyslexia. That I find hard work. But a trade paperback that is contained 6 issues, you can read it in half an hour with a
Mhm.
coffee, and like you said, coffee and contemplation. You sit there, you read the book, you've got the entire story, you're done, you're dusted. Put it on the shelf. You can go back to it at a later date if you want to.
Mhm.
The problem is with having a single issue, you can get the whole run and be like, right, I'm going to collect 1 to 7 and then read them. They'll go in a
Yeah.
comic box. That comic box will go up on the shelf. You'll
Yeah.
forget you've got them. And then nobody really, I mean, in the nicest way possible, no one likes having to sit with single issues in bags and boards and
Mhm.
unbag and board them every time you want to swap an issue. I mean, that
Yeah.
is a bit of a ball ache,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's what is the enjoyment of collecting.
Mhm.
It's part of it, isn't it?
Yeah. But it is enjoyable, and I'm sitting here saying this, and probably like 4 or 5 months down the line, I'll be like, "Look at this massive haul I went out and bought," because that's
Exactly.
what comic collecting is at. But at the moment, I don't feel like I'm missing out because there's nothing really to miss out on at the moment, in my eyes.
No, in the nicest way possible. I think if you want to invest in comic books, now this is a personal thing. I would say if you want to invest in comic books, get the old school books. You know,
Mhm.
your old school X-Men, old school Spider-Man, Batman, those kind of books, because any of those first appearances that haven't made it into the Marvel universe or the DC universe are eventually going to make their appearance in the
Mhm.
Marvel universe. And if you want
Yeah.
them as an investment piece that you can flip and make money from, then I would say that is the way to go for comic book collecting. Personally,
Yeah.
that's what I think
Mhm.
people should do. If you want to read good stories and enjoy the stories that you want to read, I'd go down the route of going down the Image and the kind of like independence, because
Yeah.
they're where the decent stories are these days. They really
Mhm.
are. And I take my hat off to Andy for dragging me kicking and screaming away from Marvel and DC to open my eyes to the world that is out there for the independent comics, because they're the ones that, if you're going to go and get single issues, they're the ones you want to pick up, because it
Mhm.
keeps it going for the next generation and the next kind of books and stuff. So yeah.
It does, and it'd be interesting for people in the chat to post their opinions on the show. Like literally, when the show ends, feel free to post your comment and let us know what you think, because obviously we can see your views in the chat, and this is just a passing comment. But if you want to write something, we can read over it. It's great because we love to hear your opinions and stuff like that. So that's that. That was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good one to
Very good
start the year.
topic, mate.
It was.
I
Thank you
like
very
that.
much. Cheers. So next week we got the Killer Comic Show sneak peek for next week. So these are 4 comics that we are looking forward to potentially reading next week. Up first, we've got AWA Trojan. We've got Boom Studios' Mosley. We've got, this one makes me laugh, right? Because behind me over there, I've got a coffee machine, and I love my coffee. Like for Christmas, I got a latte art course that my lovely wife paid for me to go on, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And I literally can waste 3 or 4 hours at a time just sitting there on Instagram watching people do their latte art, coffee art, basically. Absolutely amazing. She calls me a coffee snob, and I'm, hold my hands up, I am a coffee snob. So yes, we've got
You know what's
I've got
ironic though, mate?
what?
I saw that Gangster Ass Barrister earlier on in the week, and I text Andy and I was like, if Charlie doesn't pick this as his pick this week, I'm going to
Yeah.
pick it for him, because it's just you all over.
This is it. This is my gangster arse barista, and I even got this for Christmas, right? So I've got a great little storage for all my coffees. So yeah, very snobbish. So I've gone for gangster arse barista, and then we've gone for the Approach, which is a Snakes on a Plane homage cover, I believe.
I
The
believe, mate,
Approach.
but it's the only one that had the words "The Approach" written on it,
Yeah.
so people would know what it is.
But yeah, so these are the 4 comics up for grabs next week. So what we'll do after this show, we'll post it on the community tab, and the top 2 will be chosen for us to read and review next week. And if you feel like reading them as well, even better. Let us know what you think. So as always, continuing from last year, every Friday you can listen to us if you don't want to sit here and watch us. Every Friday on Spotify, Deezer, and iTunes, you can listen to the Killer Comic Show podcast, season number 4. Bish, bash, bosh. And you can also follow 4 years, mate. And you can also follow us over
4 years.
I know, 4 whole long boring years. I'm only joking. We've done a lot in 4 years. Yeah, so you can also follow us individually over on Instagram. You've got my Geeky Guy Comics _, and on Twitter it's Geeky Guy Comics. You've got Andy's, which is perpetual.comics on Instagram and perpetual comics. And Tom, you've changed yours now, haven't you?
I have. So it's no longer #_ It is literally just not quite mint. And then you can find me on Art of Tom Malin, not The Art of Tom Malin.
And then you can
and if
follow
you're interested in personal training, you can also follow me on TMNT Personal Training.
Go for it. So I'm going to add them next week. And then you can also follow the Killer Comic Show for all updates, show information, and everything else that you would like. What's this? So ABZ, 1970s, 80s are good long-term investments, in my opinion, if you are young and want to keep for a few decades. Bish, bash, oosh. And then we've got Phil.
And that's
hello,
it.
mate. That's it, Phil. I've had it with these mother unkin snakes on his mother plain. Great homage cover, that. What an intro that was. Nice one, Phil. Cheers, mate. So, yes, we have that. And then, last but not least, massive shout out to Hobgoblin's Hideaway, who done 2 fantastic shows over the Christmas period. It was amazing. He had the massive blowout on the 30th, and they had one before that on Facebook, and they had some fantastic stuff, some great comics, some great slabs, some seriously high investment comics. I think one of them, The Punisher and Eminem, was going for over 2k. So if you're not a fan, head over to the website, hobgoblinshideaway.co.uk. That's the sole website for the comic books and slabbing, selling. Then we've got the Facebook group, which is amazing. Sensational, growing community. Everyone there is amazing. Lucy and Tim do a fantastic job. And also you can follow them over on Instagram at hobgoblins.hideaway. Yes, that's it. We are done for another week. I'm out of breath now, mate.
Yeah, you literally just plowed through that one.
Talking about plows, I hope Jeremy Renner, the Avenger with no powers, gets well, because he ran himself over. I think he did what did he do? Did he do a Brian from E17 and ran himself over with a snowplow, or he got hit by a snowplow and stuff? But yes, it's ironic that they called him Hawkeye, but he didn't see that coming. So, but yeah, we hope you get better. We hope you get well, mate. But yes, that's another show done, mate.
But who won cover?
Who won cover? Oh, yeah, I was going to try and slip out of that one. But, yes. So, in third place, Jesus, I've done good. I had 3% of the vote.
3% is all right.
Yeah, in second place, we've got Andy with 44% of the vote. And in first place, we've got Tom with 53% of the vote. With a Jenny Frisson cover, you've won the 2023 first killer cover of the year. Well done, mate. Little round of applause for you.
I'll take that. I'll take that, because last year it took me till what, June to win one.
I think it was about June. But yes,
I was convinced we were going to get to the end of the year and I wouldn't have won one at all.
But mate, great, off to a winning start. May the votes be with you. That's another show down. It's another Thursday done. It's an hour and a half show. That's how we like to roll. Massive happy new year to every single one of you that's joined us this evening. You clearly haven't got anything better to do than spend it with us. But yeah, we do appreciate you. And this year is going to be bigger and better for the Killer Comics show, for the Killer Comics crew. And we've got so much for you guys to enjoy over this coming year. So thank you once again. And Tom, have you got anything else to say?
As always, stay safe, guys. Stay sexy.
We'll see you next week, everyone. Have a good one.